Well, let's do this. Box 184. No, I'm doing this in the second group. No enders on that one. And there's one ender. And it just went down the freaking chute. Let's do this. $46 Denver. Wheat penny number 1. Oopsies. Second Philly. Second Philly. We got this one from Indiana, so along with the other box, like next one. So you bet your ass we're gonna get 17 Phillies like crazy. Oh, wheat penny right there. 56 Philly. Wheat penny number 2. estimate. Couple older looking memorials here. Seventeen Philly. Hello, viewer. Yep, you are correct. Coins indeed. Oh no. So, actually, we two need. Well, I switched one of the rolls out because I had an ender. So how you been doing, Fallout fan? Hope you've been doing great. Great. Good to hear, man. Oh, good luck for mine. Oh, no, wait. Where are you gonna go into? What career path are you going into, man? Supply chain management. Not bad. Not where you get a job for that at. I mean, I know there's a lot of people like, dude, there's so many jobs. Honestly, who feels for any career? Got it. I'm so salty. I bought a solar panel for my battery bank that I haul around my car, and it got delayed by a week in delivery. 200-watt solar panel, by the way. Yeah. Yeah, it's a strong shot. I decent like the concept of it, and it'll make decent money. Yeah. If you want really fat money, go into HVAC, man. I tell you. HVAC is amazing. Or being an electrician. Or an operator. $17 Philly. Oh, I hate that sound. Which means I can back my ass out. Where'd it go? There it is. I think it's copper penny. There it is. And yeah, honestly, I'll say this. If I have to give you, like, are you like kind of like in college, whatever? I'll tell you this. College person who was struggling to find a career, I'm going to tell you this right now. Find something you like. Find something you're passionate in and chase it. And I don't want to be that person, but you want to choose relatively quickly. Because switching a degree or a certificate is a big pain in the ass. Oh, hello, other viewer. I tricked myself into thinking I wanted to be a coder. You could stay at home, make $150,000 a year, yada yada. What coding? I tricked myself into wanting to become a coder for about 2 years. I only lasted 2 months into actual coding. I dropped it. That's why I'm becoming a wind turbine tech, because for years I've been obsessed with turbines. I can tell you so many things right now about turbines. I can tell you more about wind turbines right now than coding. Because simply, I'm just more passionate in the wind turbine industry than coding. Coding's a cool thing. It's just not for me. And that, I had to swallow that pill. And the faster and quicker you swallow that pill, the better. Could I be a doctor and make $200,000 plus dollars like a surgeon? Yeah, but guess what? I'd kill someone's ass on an operating table because I just can't do it. Alright. 10 rolls in. We should have 2 wheat pennies. We do have 2 wheat pennies. We should have 2 wheat pennies. But we did switch the roll though. Maybe my main struggle for me is I'm trying to figure out. Yeah, it's gonna take a while, man. Well, you like Fallout, don't you? Maybe you could become a game dev? But again, I will say coding is definitely not for the faint of heart. You need passion to do it. I know that from experience. Yes, yeah. I hate to admit it, but you are definitely true on that front. And I can definitely back your ass up because I have experience with coding. And I'll tell you one thing, you mess one line up, the entire code is shit. I couldn't even code independently. But I could right now, if you, I mean, I'm not going to because I don't want to waste my time. And that's not me saying I can't do it. But right now, I could literally draw you a really detailed, like, drawing of how a turbine works, like the brake system, the parking brake, the yaw system, the TCU. I can tell you about the rotor. I can tell you about, you know, the pitch. 1750. I can tell you about all this. Tell you about all that. Can't tell you shit about coding except for it's difficult. I'm not saying to the other viewer, if you're listening to this, or anybody else listening to this, I'm not saying never chase a career in coding. If you can code, you need to do it, man. I tell you, because it is good money. But you gotta remember that coding is not easy. It's not slamming your hand across a keyboard and hoping something spits out a result. It's different than that. It's got a depth of its own, I tell you. Special weather statement. Ah, son of a bitch. What do we got now? Bloomington, Illinois. Like, honestly, I tried to be a coder and I couldn't do it. And I tried to go into, like, wind turbine industry. So I took a class on maintenance 101 and, like, basic, like, electronics. Like, I actually effed around with three-phase electricity. You know how your outlet has 120 volts? I've messed with, and it's a trainer, but I wired, I've wired up, and I've even prodded around in a box with 208 volt electrical three-phase current. I pulled fuses, replaced them. And that was my maintenance 101 class. Then I took mechanical drives. I put together sprocket drives, chain drives, gear drives. 1750. And so my first semester I took maintenance 101, which was like a bunch of like, you know, electrical stuff. 1750. I also took I took batteries, or intro to batteries. And I also took there's a 1937 Philly, old wheat penny, number 3. I took renewables, and that was all my first semester. So I took maintenance, renewables, and batteries. And then on my second semester, last semester, I took I took batteries, maintenance 101, and renewables class for, like, you know, energy sustainability and, like, house improvement. And actually, I will say, you know how you, like, go to school and you don't learn shit? From the sustainability class, I learned a lot. I actually phased out all my light bulbs, and I consume, like, half the power I do. Or this property consumes half the power we do in lighting. And I theoretically save up to $500 a year. And it will pay itself off in roughly half a year. So, technically, my phase out has probably paid for itself by now. And then in my next semester, I took mechanical drives. I took intro to wind. And, there's 58 Denver. Wheat penny number 4. And there was no 9. My second semester, I took intro to wind. I took mechanical drives. I took one else. PLC programming. I took PLC programming. I can program in PLC. Like, I can program ladder logic in RS Studio 5000. I just can't do Java. So I could, like, if you give me RS 5000, Studio 5000 or Rockwell Studio 5000, I can program that. I can do ladder logic. And if you don't know what PLCs are, they're literally in almost every giant machine. Wind turbines, manufacturing plants, you name it. They're everywhere. And I also did, like, I worked with, like, wind turbine trainers, and they were so cool. I've not gone up to a turbine. I almost did it in April or May, but the wind company did not respond. They basically ghosted our ass. Just super annoying. Considering I almost climbed, like, a giant wind turbine, like a big boy. 150-meter rotor. Heck, you getting 59 is crazy. What the hell? But yeah, and by the way, if I can't convince you that I'm pretty passionate in the craft, so I took again maintenance 101. I took hold on. That's his name. I took maintenance 101, intro to batteries, intro to sustainability, and then after that, next semester I took PLC programming. Particularly, I took intro to wind, and I also took mechanical drives, and all those I got. My first semester, I got every single class as an A, and in my second semester, I got an A, and then a B. So on the 6 semesters, I've got my past 6 semesters, I got A, B. That right there is a proof that I am like, I'm into this. Like I'm liking this. I'm liking it. I'll tell you this right now. When you go to college, and like, mark my words, when you go into college and you take a class and you're actively happy to walk in your class, you found it. You found what you're passionate for. A good recommendation, Fallout, is try to find, like, community colleges, because they're usually cheaper. Like, for example, in my community college, it costs no more than, like, $1,500 for 3 classes every single semester. And honestly, I don't want to glaze here, but the proctors and teachers I got were pretty damn good. But yeah, you will, to a certain degree, you will know you're in a good class, and you're in a good thing that makes you happy. If you walk into a classroom happy, if you walk into a classroom and you're dreading the lesson, and it's something you don't like, then you're in the wrong spot. But I will say this, I don't want to sound cheesy, but my biggest suggestion is that you cannot just sit down and let life go to you. You have to go take it by the reins, and you gotta ride it to the end. It will not wait for you. You have to... You can't... Oh, no. You can't wait for life, because guess what? Again, you have to take charge. Find your passion. Get a good job. You'll live a good life. And plan too. Like, you're welcome. You are 100% welcome. But yeah, again, explore. Like, go and... Like, for example, like, your hobbies or something like, what do you like right now? And then see if there's an application in your world for it. I mean, for me, it's kind of easy because my parents are maintenance. My mom, not my mom. My dad was maintenance. He did 20 years at State Farm. 17. No. There are 20 rolls in. We should have 4 wheat pennies, and we got 4. Hopefully we can keep going. Yeah, I know you. Oh, there's 44 Philly. Penny number 5. Oh, 9. Something Philly. That is actually pretty nice. I will say one thing. My biggest tip is never just start a YouTube channel and go into streaming and think you're gonna make it. I want you to get. I started my channel. This one, of course, you're watching right now. I started it in June 30th, my birthday of 2019. I was about to be a freshman. There's Canadian. That was my transition between freshman year high school and, or no, it's from 8th grade to freshman year. And I only got 1,000 subs. I only got half what you need to get money. Because people always like, I'm not trying to like shut down any dreams, but I honestly think you can you can have a YouTube channel on the side like me, but do not rely upon it 100% unless you're you're willing to grind. Century Philly. Yeah, your little thing where you said you were watching engineering courses. That's a lead. There's an estimate. I could definitely get more subscribers if I put videos out, but I just don't want to put time into it. I will say, I hope my wind farm that is being built north of me or northwest of me does not get canceled, because in terms of there's a Canadian penny. I will say there's this wind farm I was gonna work for or wanting to work for. There's not a Canadian penny. Might be a weedy right there. Nope. There's one right here though. 50 Denver. Number 6 actually. But this wind farm I was gonna work for near Champaign, Illinois. It is an hour. It's an hour or so away. But this new wind farm that will be built near my home is going to be 20 minutes, which means I can save myself an hour, 40 minutes every day on driving back and forth. That will save me at least, I'd say, $5 per drive because of the fuel. $15 a month, no, up to $25 to $30 a week on my rough estimate. Yeah. If my plan goes perfectly, and by the way, I'm on a sidetrack. Always expect your plans to have a failure point, because shit happens. Because I'm honestly remember like I may not get the job. However, I have an advantage. 17 Philly. I have an advantage with this wind farm. Is that I'm going to graduate in May of 2026. I have to have a wind turbine certificate and hold it for a half a year, 6 months. And guess what happens 6 months later? That wind farm I'm looking at is finished being built. It's going to start in it's going to start in the end of this year, and it's going to end at the end of last year. So when it ends, I would have heard, if I have my plan correct, and if I do get my school, which I certainly am, I will literally be exactly ready to go in the job when that farm is done being made. They're going to hire 66 engineers, better than the 20 or so that was going to be put in the other farm. And here's the thing, right? Is that they're going to need new people. Right? So it's not like I'm going into a wind turbine farm that has people already there and there's no openings. That's 60 openings. That gives me an ample advantage. So I'm going to plan on putting my foot in the door and seeing if I can seal myself a spot in. That's another tip I can give you guys. Is that if you have friends in the industries that you want to go into, get them to get a foot in the door for you. Start talking to people. Build connections. That's a good way to get a better job. It doesn't guarantee you 100%. Just says that you have a little bit of a better chance. I will say the great thing about my job opportunity, because I live in Central Illinois, and if you don't know, Central Illinois, especially along the I-74 corridor, east of the, like if you go to the Interstate 39 corridor and Interstate 74 corridor, that's east of the Illinois River, there are tons of wind turbine farms. Like if I go upstairs, I can look at a farm right now. And the thing is, and the good thing is that apparently according to my teacher, who is really, really good and knowledgeable in wind, the farms are begging my college for people. And the good thing is, do you know how many people are in my class? Or classmates that were trying to go into the wind industry? How many other people there were? 2. So I have very little competition, at least from the inside of the school. As most likely, I'm one of the couple of handful of students that will be going and becoming a wind turbine, or will be holding a wind certificate. Let's see. I am. And I've been planning. However, there could be an issue. They may not hire me. And that's a possibility. $1938 Philly. Wheat penny number 7. Now, if you're a wind turbine technician in, like, Georgia, yeah, you're shit out of luck, buddy. There ain't no wind turbine farms in Georgia. Southeast of the United States is completely devoid of them. There's too many trees and hills. And while I'm doing college, I have a job at a restaurant. Doesn't pay the best, but it's a job better than nothing. Alright. We have 20 rolls to go. We should have 60 pennies. We got 7, so we're doing pretty good. We need 46 Philly. The last set. That's penny number 8, by the way. The last roll, or last group of 10 rolls, we had 1 at the beginning. Why, do you live in them? Live in Georgia? My mom was born. So Philly. So I have southern roots. That's why I can talk like this pretty good. Y'all know I have southern roots. Yeah, I can put a pretty decent southern accent on. I got southern roots. I got southern roots. Oh. Durable, huh? I'm gonna use my middle finger to tear them open. Oh, nice. Looks like someone else lives in a Fed state. Because Georgia has a Federal Reserve. F5 Atlanta. I live in Illinois, so my reserve is G7 Chicago. Fun fact, Atlanta is the filming location of a lot of Stranger Things franchise. Gwinnett Mall is actually the location of... Yeah, I do. I'm born in Illinois, but my family has a little bit southern roots. If you trace my family back a little bit, we trace back to the Puritan era. We don't talk about some of the ancestors there. Dickhead John Abbott got someone killed in the witch trials. I think it was John Abbott, or Benjamin Abbott. The head proctor at the school in Salem. To my knowledge. Or 9. Yeah, way to go, Benjamin. Not really that nice. I think the story goes that my last name used to have 1 T, and then we put another T on the end of it to get away from the witchcraft trials. Because if you put another T on and make ABBOTT, they'll never catch us. That's a stupid idea. I'm a Canadian penny. 51 Denver. I thought they said 92 S. Wheat penny number 9. I know, right? That's I think it's my dad's side that had Benjamin. And then on my mother's side, one of the people was Elizabeth Sydenham. Apparently Elizabeth Sydenham married... God, what is that guy's name? I don't know, but he sailed on a ship called the Golden Hind. Beautiful ship it is, still alive today. I mean, it's backed up by the fact I'm 52% English, and I got, what do you call it? I got, like, Welsh, Germanic, and, Finnish in me. Not that much, like, Germanic, Welsh, and Finnish. A little bit. There goes 17 Philly. I definitely should get to wrapping these tomorrow. $17 Philly. Yeah, don't even get me started. I'm always a little bit nervous to bring it up because I know I'm going to lose people because of it, but yeah. Ugh. Yeah, Epstein file shit's been real rough now. You can be happy knowing that I don't care for him at all. Yeah. I mean, I don't really like him, not just because he's just not being the best president, but it's just because, like, he's super duper anti-win. He's passing legislation, or trying to at least, especially in the big dumbass bill he just passed, which cuts federal tax funds for wind farms, leading to possible cancellations and thousands of turbine jobs lost. Not that they're going to begin... I don't think they're going to be lost instantly, but they're definitely going to be gradual. This bill poses a drastic threat to the Panther Grove Wind Farm, which I'm hopefully looking forward to being built. See, I cannot imagine, like, even though my family roots have been here, and I have been on this, my family's been on this continent for over 200 plus years, I still fear ice. It's just creepy how they walk through the freaking towns, man. Some Gestapo shit. Yeah. Like, surprise, surprise. You know, we live in America where, you know, it's the melting pot of the world where different cultures melt together. Shocker, huh? I'm sorry if this is controversial, but I like how they're like, oh man, like how this administration's anti-immigrant. Hey buddy, you know, do you remember like when like the Europeans came over and we brought like diseases to like the natives? It wiped them out. We started killing them and took their land. And we went to Mexico and took some of their land too. And Team Philly. Yeah, I know that's history, but it's still like, I mean, I got a point here. because of IDs. Honestly, that is a bit shocking. Because honestly, that's one thing I was a little nervous because I thought you'd be like a Trumpy. Because everybody I see is. But it's glad to know that you aren't. Because, oh my gosh. It's crazy to me, actually, how you could literally just spew a bunch of bullshit and get a fan base. That's scarier than anything. Is the fact you can be totally wrong and totally stupid, and you can say something that sounds somewhat smart, and a ton of, dare I say, basically lemmings will follow you. I almost thought, specifically, like the amount of people have fallen, the amount of stupidity in this world makes me want to start a cult. Because I could literally say anything and people would believe it. And that's crazy. It could be totally backwards and shit. And people would still believe it. Even though we live in a time where information, or most of the information that this species has ever gathered, is at the touch of your fingertips. You could literally research a topic right now and be pretty decently versed into it in a week. But yet, we just do not know how to use Google. Honestly, this presidency is built on hatred and lies. Really? Do you really think... Again, I'm sorry if I get political. Do we really think... Like, what's the problem here, chat? Immigrants coming into the country, or a 100-year-old failing power grid? The fact that our planet is rapidly deteriorating because of carbon emissions? How about homelessness or hunger? How about the fact that, we basically just made cuts to the National Weather Service? What's a bigger issue, that or immigrants? Choose. They 10 rolls to go, and we have 8 wheat pennies, we got 9. But again, let me tell you this, my friends. The first thing that fascists and dictators go for are transgender people and immigrants. But the largest and most influential... Yeah. Oh yeah, look. Even if it's on both sides, in my opinion. I mean, look at both Biden and Trump. They're old as shit. I'm sorry, man, but can we get somebody who isn't looking like Darth Sidious? God. Like, listen, I'm sorry, boomers. You're nice, but when it comes to politics, hang it up, dude. Like, you can be part of a bakery, but, like, please stay out of politics. Our generation has different wants than yours. God. But it really hurts me when I see somebody that is like we can't. I mean, I'm not saying like I'm 17. Like, I mean, the youngest a president can theoretically be is 35. No kidding. I love it when they make fun of. I love it when like you get like baby boomers making fun of Gen Z for not being able to write cursive when they created computers, but they can't even run an iPhone. Yeah, the computer technology got more complex, but you're telling me you built a technology that now you cannot run? And I don't really mean that. I'm just saying to the people like, oh, you can't write cursive? Why would you write cursive? Cursive is shit. Oh, and screw your Roman numerals. They also suck. I hate Roman numerals. Ugh. We live in the year 2025, but we still use Roman numerals for some things. That's embarrassing. Hey, come on. Roman numerals don't even have a 0. Philly. There's 17 Philly. No kidding. Only Roman posters. That Well, only movie posters, I agree. But again, what's scary to me is that we live in a society where you can click the TV on and you will see our president say they're eating the dogs. Immigrants are eating the dogs. And people will believe it. There's 17 killing. Like, there is no searching. Like, I used to believe a little couple things he said, but that dude has said thousands of lies. Like, actual, like, you know, the Washington Post did a study, and they said that in his first term, he spouted almost 20,000 lies. That's an average of, what, 20, 40 a day? No, Canadian penny. There is more continuity in a copper wire that has 3 cuts in it than our current leaders. And again, I'm going to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but dude, like, come on. Who is supporting this guy? He said he was going to release the Epstein files. He hasn't done it yet. Actually, the government said, oh, they're not real. And then, you know, he's like, oh, they are real, but they're doctored. Okay, so now we know they're doctored. Release them then. There's no... So if they're fake and made by, you know, the left, which they're not, technically, release them. And, okay, and if the files were made by the left, why didn't they use them in the 2024 campaign? I mean, the 2024 campaign was tight. Why didn't they use them? He also said he was going to end the Ukrainian war on day 1. It's still going on. He said, oh, we're not going to send any more aid to Ukraine, but we're doing it right now. Which, by the way, I'm for Ukraine. Simple. Ukraine got attacked first. They violated the Budapest Memorandum. Because in 1994, we signed the Budapest Memorandum. Ukraine gives up all their nukes, which actually, in 1994, when they had their nukes from the Soviet Union, they were the 3rd most powerful nuclear country in the world. Now, here's the Budapest Memorandum for you guys. 1. Ukraine gives up their nukes. 2. Russia respects the land borders. And get ready for this. Because you people that don't like us when we support Ukraine, you're going to hate this. But it's true and the facts don't care about your feelings. Number 3. If Ukraine gets attacked, America is supposed to help them either by using intel or military force. Perceptive feeling. If you don't think I'm true, you think I'm lying and capping, look this up. Simple. Russia violated the Budapest Memorandum, so we are stepping in to enforce it. So yes. Russia is in the wrong. They violated the Budapest Memorandum of 1994. So therefore, by the agreement, America is supposed to help them either by using intelligence or by sending military aid. And you know what really hurts is the fact that they will complain about, and I'm sorry, I'm gonna get political because I don't care, is that we complain about, or you always see the right complain about things. And by the way, if you guys don't know, I'm independent, so I don't care about either side. But you'll see the right basically complain, we're sending aid to Ukraine, even though they're completely void in the fact we have sent $33 billion to Netanyahu or Israel. Let me give you this. If you tacked another $15 billion onto that, how much we sent to Israel, you could renovate every inch of the interstate system in the United States. So instead of, funding a guy who's clearly committing war crimes and is sanctioned by the international community, we could actually be, fixing power lines, installing more wind capacity, building or fixing roads, or feeding the homeless, feeding the hungry and housing the homeless. Here's the thing, you house the homeless, then they can get a job, and they get them a job, guess what? They have income tax, that makes the government more money. Simple as that. It's an investment that they just simply won't make. Let's see. Also, we said no new wars, but we basically bombed Iran. And let me educate you guys what happened. And Iran was making high enriched uranium, and This happened in the early 2000s. And by the mid 2010s, the international community was running investigations, and we told Iran to stop. And you want to know what Iran did? They stopped. So that was because we signed the Iran nuclear deal of 2015. This was signed by President Barack Obama. Oh nine. Also, here's where it gets funny, right? So after we signed that, we lifted sanctions on Iran, and then after that, they stopped. They destroyed their equipment and gave up their uranium. But here's where it gets a little bit stupid. In 2018, Donald Trump pulled out of the JCPOA, or Iran nuclear deal. This caused Iran to develop more uranium than it ever did in its history. Yeah, same here. They developed way more uranium. Actually, no, I'll backtrack. They didn't develop way more, but they developed roughly the same amount of uranium as they did before we signed that agreement in the law. Trump pulled out because, quote unquote, rights or human rights abuse, whatever. It's funny he cares about human rights, even though he's currently building what are essentially concentration camps. But I guess you can't. I guess rules for thee, not for me. And I swear, if I get someone in my comments, you're not concentration. They are. Look at Auschwitz. Now look at Alligator Auschwitz. Look at the pictures. They're practically the same, but more modernized. Let me remind you, chat. I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theory here, but I want to remind you guys that the concentration camps were not death camps to begin with. They just housed people. Do I think they may become death camps? I don't know. But honestly, seeing how we have devalued the lives of anybody who isn't American is just scaring me. The problem is, history is not just repeating itself. It's not just repeating itself, it's rhyming. This has happened before, multiple times in history, but we are just completely ignorant to it. But I'm going to tell you this right now. To any MAGA followers in this circle, you are being played like a fleshlight and a fiddle. I'm sorry if I'm sounding weird. You are getting your asses absolutely played. You voted for a guy who was going to release Epstein files on day one, but he didn't. End the Ukrainian war on day... Oh my god. Holy shit, that's an Indian head scent. Haven't gotten one of these in a while. It's an old-ass Indian head scent. 1900. Whew. That's interesting. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. I haven't gotten one of those in a while. Oh, whoops, I took my glove off. But I'm going to make this statement right now. 17 Philly. If Donald J. Trump is not in the Epstein files, why is he not releasing them? I will guarantee you this, because we have photos of him. There's 17 Philly. We have photos of the guy with Epstein talking to each other. And we have records that they were best friends. He was on the plane 7 times. There is a connection. But I'll also mention this, right? Alright, we're done. No kidding, it is a plasma pass. That's older than any wheat penny we've ever found. I have a couple Indian head scents. I have a 1900 if I'm not wrong. But I'm just saying to anybody who currently from the Trump and from like the MAGA group, your buddy's not holding up the end of the deal. You better make him know that. Because I'm just saying this, he's saying everything you want to hear. The only reason that you think you're succeeding is he's saying everything you want to hear. And he's got you by the nuts. This is not the first time that somebody has used hate and fear to get control. We saw this happen in Nazi Germany. We're seeing it happen again. And you know what? I challenge you before anybody comments down, oh, you're just some leftist. By the way, I'm just going to let you know, I'm not. I'm an independent, so I don't care. But I'm just saying this. Start looking into the facts. And you know what? I'm going to tell you this. The facts aren't always pretty. This isn't a rainbowy world. This isn't a bright and happy, sunny world. There are dark places in this earth. Dark people. Actually, that came out wrong. Holy shit. Like, there are, like, shady people, I should say. Shady, evil people in this world that will put on masks of brightness. And I sound like a schizo right now. But I'm just saying, if you have an idol in your life and you don't even at least hold them under a looking glass, you are complacent. And you are, well, you're just, yeah. The price to pay for knowledge is very important, even, it is. Like a doomer. Lol. Next, 184. Origin of Batch. Sangamon Drive. No, Sangamon Parkway. Give me a second. But, like, you know, I mean, like, it's scary because, like, all the stuff that politicians say nowadays, like, you know, they're eating the dogs, or we're under an invasion from immigrants. If you said that, like, 20 years ago, you would get ridiculed. Now it's openly welcomed, and that's more scary than any monster I can think of. There is no more scary thing in this world than misinformation and the people that follow it. 9 wheat pennies, 6 bicentennials, 35 17 Philadelphias, 3 Esmonts, no Woodies, 5 Canadian pennies, $476. And finally, the rare spot where I could go in the Indian head cents and type in that we got 1 Indian head cent. So yes, this is older than the wheat pennies we find. So you see the 9 wheat pennies we found today? None of them are as old as that Indian head cent. They were struck between 1858 to 1909. Here's what it looks like. Really beautiful design. This is actually Lady Liberty. with a Indian headdress. It's actually a pretty coin. One of the prettiest pennies you'll ever find. They're not in... This is not extremely rare. There are several hundred million, probably at least a billion of these things that were struck. Nonetheless, I already got one of the 1909, 1901s. The S-minted variants are pretty hard to find. Here, I'll show you guys. I have a good amount. Like, my grandpa bought a couple of these. My oldest one, my oldest penny, is 1883. I have all these. Some of them were, of course, bought by my grandpa. He gave it to me. Yeah, 1859 and on. But the Flying Eagles are rare, especially this one. Or no, an 1859 Indian head penny is or an 1859 Flying Eagle penny is probably one of the rarest pennies you can find, even rarer than 1909 VDBS. I'd be careful because my 1889 like loves to fall out. I think I have at least 20 of them. I first found Indian head cents last year. But yeah, sorry for the political bullshit today, chat, but I just don't give a crap anymore. Science is compliance. Hey, not bad today. I really wish I had 10 wheat pennies, but I will definitely count this as a win because we found a 1909 penny. We've gone probably at least like 50 boxes. That was a bad voice crack. Holy shit. We've gone about 58 boxes without an Indian head cent. We were actually getting them pretty regularly back in winter of last year, but it kind of dropped down for some reason. I don't know why. Actually, 1883, that might be the oldest penny or oldest coin I currently own. Let's see, go to the Coinbase data. Currently, as of today, we have found... As of 2025, we have found 1,493 wheat pennies. Yeah, 1883, but it's not that valuable, though. It is an older coin. I want to say the really, really rare coins start to be like, probably 1850s, and anything before that is pretty hard to find. 1850 to like 1900 is pretty medium difficulty if you're like a numismatist like me. Anything after 1900 is pretty common, unless it has a special date like a 14 Denver or a 31S wheat penny. Those are very rare, like the 14 Denvers, wheat penny, 31S, and the 32 Philly are the rarest of their mintage categories. Actually, no, not the 31S. It's a 1909 VDBS. We found almost 1,500 wheat pennies. By tomorrow, we would have found 1,500 wheat pennies this year. Currently, my wheat penny inventory, we have not including this one. Actually, I'm going to include this one. We have 4,706 wheat pennies. How much of the coin collection? You know, okay, I'll show you. Well, I have a decent amount of pennies. This is my coin collection. So if you actually watch me, that's where I stream. There's the wind turbine. So when you're actually watching me, you're looking at this angle, but off to the left of the camera. But you know what's cool is that normally my camera would be in normal, but I inverted my camera to be in the view of as if you were looking directly at me. So when you look at my stream camera, you're looking at the perspective of at me instead of, you know, as inverted. So like that turbine would be on that side and this box would be on that side. So my camera is regular. Because if it wasn't inverted and you wrote on the wall, it would be reversed. I'm sorry if I'm twisting your brain here. Yeah, I have a messy apartment. Here's the wheat penny collection. It's going strong, but you're going to start noticing something. The 1910s and 20s mint marks are going to be a pain in the ass, as well as a couple of good dates like 14 Denver, 14S. We got 31 Denver and 32S. Look at that. 1 million. That's 1 million wheat pennies. 1 million 31S pennies. There were 27 billion. So that's like one in like, I want to say 27,000 in terms of wheat pennies. And that's not even counting like, you know, I have to find, that's 1 million pennies that there could only be like 10 or 30,000 of them left in a pool of over 500 billion pennies, making those dates very difficult to find. But I have gotten some pretty good luck. Like I found the 16 Denver this year. I think I also found the 16S. But as you can see this, we're actually doing pretty good. I bet you I probably filled at least 3 or 4 pennies in this page this year. But again, if you look at the mint marks, we're going to have a difficulty finding these pennies. Again, I will tell you this right now. I have 4,706 wheat pennies, and this is how I've found them. Of those 46 or 4,700 wheat pennies, my dad bought me 1,000, and I bought 100. So I try to find them all. So these most of these pennies, except for this one, I know this one I bought, but most of them are found. I know 100% I found the small S. My rarest one is the 32 Denver. This is going to be a painful category, especially up here and down here, because these are depression pennies, and they don't drop. So whenever you hear me freak out about 34 Denver, 28 million. Anything under 50 million is a pretty difficult find, in my opinion. And there's steel pennies, and yeah, like this page is relatively easy. I'm still looking for that 55S. Yeah. Like, oh shit. Oh, damn it. Ow, there's a freaking rock. What the hell? Oh shit, man. I broke my 3D print that I was gifted. Where did it come from? Oh, it came from the nose. That sucks. I should... Now it's got a hollow nose. They do. There's not just pennies, like up here. These are quarters. All these... Oh, why don't you have that many quarters? Because these are silver. Every single quarter you see right up here, that's silver. Over here is anything from 1965 to 1998. Then you got all the state quarters, which I have them all. 1965 to and onward quarters are very easy, unless you count the W mints. Here is the, those would be the, state quarters, and I have the W mints too. Here's the pennies from 1959 to today. I got some pretty shiny coppers. Here is nickels from 1938 to today, or to at least 2024. You can see that I do have a couple of war nickels. Where are they? There they are. I have a couple war nickels, but these are very difficult to find, especially the 43 Denver. Yeah, I was correct. And up here, there's the large dollars, the Eisenhower dollars, and the, what do you call it? They're called Susan B. Anthony dollars. And you have Sacagaweas up there. Presidential dollars, which I don't know why, but after James A. Garfield, they just don't drop. And then down here we have half dollars. There's a couple silver ones, like these top ones right here. You can see those 4 are silver. And of course I have a lot of them, but they stopped. I don't do anything after 2003 because they just don't drop after 2003. But yeah, in terms of the wheat penny collection, we're doing very good. And I think we found at least like 5 new wheat pennies this year, which is pretty good. And we're only in July. We have August, September, October, November, December. That's 5 months of one box a day. And we're only 2 months in the streak, and we're already doing this good. Where are the W mints? Huh. Where did my W mints go? Yeah, I have a messy apartment. I need to clean up. Don't judge me. I think I put the W mints in my safe. Because I have a ton of W mints, and they're so cool. Some more penny rolls. I need to consolidate into a box. Are they in here? Where did they go? Oh. That is a large penny I bought. There is a 1884. That one penny I found, I think, it's older than this one. That's an 1884 silver dollar from the O Mint. Listen to that. Yeah, that is a penny. Like, if I want it, if for a representation, that's a quarter, and whoops, that's a normal penny. Look at that damn thing. They stay in here because that's my valuable shit. But I don't think they're up here at all. There's a ton of star notes. I just do not know where they are. Ow. Oh, there they are. They're right here. There's my war nickels. So these nickels actually are made with a little bit of silver because of the Second World War. This are my rarest quarters. These are all W Mint quarters, and it took me $15,000 to find them. If you look, because I have nowhere else to put them. Look at that. You may not think there's anything special, but look, you see that W on it? There was only 2 million of these quarters that were struck. And if you go to a 2020, that mark on my thumb celebrates 75 years ever since World War II ended. There's another W Mint. And I have every single one of these. So these are 37. There's 37 of them here, which make up roughly about, there's like $30. And I have this. This is the only thing I got for Christmas. I like playing. I haven't played this in a while, but I need to play Tempest because I love Tempest. Like, I have so much weird shit. Oh, by the way, it gets worse in here. There's tons of foreign shit. There's like really shiny bicentennial pennies, silver pingers. There's what I call the quarters that are not silver, but they sound like silver. Really, just brand new, beautiful state quarters. I have them sealed in this bucket here. There's probably at least $1,000 up there. Nothing in here, just batteries. I keep them like that. That way they don't like mark. A couple of old bills. Chicken. Oh, a couple 09 nickels, whatever. Again, here's the coppers. All the pennies you see that they go down that little hole right there. They go out here. Oh, look at that. It's time to take the garbage out. If you think I'm a nut, you're gonna think I'm worse here. Oh, look at that. So many rolls. This is a 50-gallon. I probably have pushing 30 gallons of paper waste. There we go. So if you think that jar right there is huge with Wheaties, there it is. This is under my bed, so nobody attacks and gets my Wheaties. Geiger counter. Sunglasses, scissors. Ginormous 2,000 lumen goddamn flashlight. And best of all, like 3,000 or 4,000 some wheat pennies just crammed into a jar. Yes, these are all Wheaties. If I literally shine my light here, you can see how many of the Wheaties are exposed. This was everything from 2023 to 2024. There is a lot of them here. Yeah, I have to go. I have to get ready to go to work. Honestly, it's like I have so much like horizontal space, but I just pennies. Yeah. Oh, here's the last bucket we made. All filled with copper. It gets worse when you go over here. Yes, I have tons. Thank you. These are filled with Nerf guns. Again, this is one of my funnest things I own, because I like MSRP for these Nerf guns cost me like $3,000, but I got them all for like $400. So I saved a shit ton of money. Also, what's a good basement without that? And me holding a 17 HMR revolver. There's a freaking minigun. Actually, if I have to be totally honest with you, man, the Nerf gun rack is not that hard to replicate. Actually, we got a lot of the posts. Oh, hey, what's that? Is that my... Yes, it is. Oh, man, it is. Honestly, here's the thing. If you want to get more Nerf guns, go find Facebook Marketplace, because that's where I found all those Nerf guns. You can save tons of money. If you go start getting MSRPs of Nerf guns, and then just compare them to like Marketplace deals, you can find fat deals. Like, ready for this. So, like, this Nerf gun right here, I think it's mine. Where is it? I think it's the... Where the other two go? They go in here? There's no way they went in here. No, they didn't. I have 3 Mastodons. Where the hell did the other 2 go? I have no idea. Huh. Maybe they went inside of... There? Maybe? But, that is a good question. Where the hell did they go? But, like, this right here is a $120 to $60 blaster, and I went and I got one for, like, $10. So, again, this is, like, $120 when it was released, but it's now $60, but I got one for $10. I mean, it was dirty as hell, because it came from another family. But I cleaned it up and it worked just fine. So $10 for a working Mastodon is amazing. So I literally got like 90% off. I don't know. Anyway, here's the whole ass penny box list. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna go because I have to go to work soon. Thanks for watching. I'll probably be on tomorrow night. And yeah, see